confirms it has lost contact with a plane carrying 227 passengers.
It seems to have vanished into thin air.
A pilot's home flight simulator.
How is it possible for an airline to disappear?
This is Jean-Luc, MH-370 investigator.
There's a gap in the medical record of the pilot.
Oh,
there is a
really?
gap of 6 years. There's numerous phone calls in a short lapse time with the doctor.
The aircraft was in good condition. Captain Zahari asked First Officer Farik to go back into the cabin and get them both a cup of coffee. Sitting alone in the cockpit was a man who had been rehearsing for this night for over a month. He would now try to make one of the world's largest, most modern jets vanish from the face of the earth. The first step in making the plane vanish was to make it disappear from radar. The two cabin outflow valve switches and push them to the open position. The captain yanked the plane violently to the left. Zahari needed this turn to be tight. He was right beside Thai airspace. To call the cockpit door, all he had to do was rotate the switch on the center pedestal from the auto position to the unlock position. He was counting down the minutes until the passengers and crew would lose consciousness. As for his own oxygen supply, he was at no risk of running out. His supply came from two large tanks underneath the cockpit. This oxygen supply had been topped up that very evening, would begin to run out. The effects of hypoxia, there is simply a dimming of awareness until the proverbial lights go out, speeding up the Strait of Malacca. With everybody behind him incapacitated or dead, there was no need to keep the air pressure so low. Flight 370 had been somewhere on this ring. Not inside of this ring, but on it. Exchanges would come to be known as handshakes. One arc every hour for as long as the plane was in the air. From this point on, the story of Flight 370 is the story of these arcs. He knew that as long as the wreckage was never discovered, there would always be a shadow of doubt as to what had caused the plane's disappearance. Some would say that what happened on this night was a tragic accident. But these theories, which we will call accident scenarios, all have massive flaws. If the pilots were so incapacitated that they couldn't get the aircraft to descend and get back to an airport, why were they still conscious enough 30 minutes after the emergency began to turn at Penang? And then, more than 40 minutes after that, to turn again, out over the open ocean. What's more, why did they turn at such inopportune places? Why was every turn timed perfectly so as to avoid detection by air traffic control? Those who believe this was an accident still have to contend with one more fact, and it's perhaps the most disturbing fact of all. Just over a month before this night, he had practiced this journey on his home flight simulator.
Hi everyone, this is a YouTube video that
For thousands of miles, there lay nothing but dark, deep ocean. The aircraft had a final trick up its sleeve, the APU. Electrical power was restored to the aircraft. It sent a signal to the satellite above the Indian Ocean. This signal created a final ring, and therefore a final arc, the now infamous 7th arc.